The Valari control station floated silently in deep space, orbiting a cold, dark moon. Inside the command center, a soft hum filled the room. Glowing blue lights blinked gently on large screens. Alien officers, tall and thin with skin like silver. Stone moved quietly between their stations. It was supposed to be a normal day. The scanners had shown nothing unusual for months. The edge of the galaxy was calm, quiet, and empty. But then, a loud beeping broke the silence. "Signal detected," said Officer Ron, staring at the main screen. His voice trembled slightly. "It's big, very big." Commander Threx stood from his chair and walked over. "How big?" he asked. Ron hesitated. "It's not a ship size we've seen before. Over 20 kilometers long. Too large for a fleet. Carrier. Too large for anything." Threx frowned. "Where is it coming from?" "Sector 9, just outside the dead zone." The room grew tense. The dead zone was an old human battleground. No one went there. It was believed to be haunted. For centuries, it had remained empty. But now, something was moving in it. Threx ordered the signal to be brought on screen. The screen blinked, then showed a grainy shape, dark, long, and slow-moving. It didn't reflect light like normal metal. It looked like it was made of shadow. The officers stared in silence. "Doesn't look natural," whispered one. Of them, Threx narrowed his eyes. "Can we identify the ship?" Run tapped his console quickly. A red alert popped up. "Ship registered in ancient archives. Codename, Vindicator. Human-class warship. Status, destroyed 312 years ago." A deep silence filled the room. "That's impossible," Threx said slowly. "Humans were wiped out. That ship was lost. In the Great War." Another officer, Kale, looked up. "Unless it was never destroyed, or someone rebuilt it." Run spoke again, his voice thin. "Sir, the ship is broadcasting." "Broadcasting what?" Run turned up the audio. Static filled the room, followed by a low, broken voice. "This is Commander Rel of the United Terran Alliance. Vindicator operational. Systems online. Mission continues." The audio cut out. Threx felt cold. Commander Rel died centuries ago. Kale shook her head. "That was a live signal." The voice had timing corrections, natural breath, background feedback. That wasn't a recording. Threx stared at the screen. The shape of the ship was slowly turning, like it was choosing a direction. "Is it heading this way?" he asked. Run nodded slowly. "Yes, Commander. It's coming straight toward us." Panic moved through the control center like a wave. Officers began talking over each other. "What do we do? Should we alert the council? Do we fire?" "First?" Threx raised his hand. Silence. The room quieted. "No one is to speak of this," Threx ordered. "Seal this report. I will alert High Command myself. Until then, we observe only. Do not engage." Kale looked uneasy. "Sir, this is a human warship. If it reaches our colonies..." Threx cut her off. "We don't even know what it wants." "But what if it's a weapon?" Ron said. "What if they sent it to finish what they started?" Threx didn't answer. Outside the station, the stars looked peaceful. But deep in space, the shadow moved closer, slow and steady. Later that night, Run sat alone at his console. His mind raced. The voice of Commander Rel echoed in his head. Vindicator operational. He couldn't shake the feeling. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He opened a private channel, typed a short message, and sent it to a contact on a nearby research station. "They're back. Prepare for evacuation. Do not trust command." As soon as he hit send, the lights flickered. Then everything went black for 2 seconds. When the lights came back on, his screen showed one line. Message intercepted. Unauthorized communication. Logged. His heart sank. He had been caught. A second message appeared. Do not interfere. This is your only warning. He stepped back from the console, breathing hard. His hands were shaking. Behind him. Kale walked into the room. "Ron, are you okay?" she asked. He turned slowly. "Kale, we have to leave. That ship, it's not just a machine. Something is inside, something alive." She looked at him confused. "You think the humans are still out there?" "I don't know," he said. "But that ship should not be moving. And it shouldn't be speaking." Kale's eyes darkened. "If they survived, what do they want?" Ron answered softly. "Maybe they want to finish the war. Maybe they want revenge." Outside the window, far away, the shape of the Vindicator drifted silently through the stars. It didn't blink. It didn't glow. It just watched. In a hidden chamber deep inside the Valari capital, the high command gathered around a large table. A single image floated in the air above them, the Vindicator, coming closer every hour. "This is a threat," one said. "It's a warning," another replied. "We shouldn't have touched Earth. We shouldn't have erased them. They were dangerous. They were right to fight us. Maybe now they're coming to punish us." The room filled with argument. Fear was thick in the air. In the end, the prime speaker gave the order. "Do not let the public know. Increase scans. Prepare the fleet. And above all, do not fire unless fired upon. If the humans are truly back, we must survive." Back in deep space, the Vindicator floated closer. Lights inside began to flicker. Behind a sealed chamber door, a long metal coffin hissed open. A human hand reached out, touching the cold floor. A pair of glowing eyes opened in the darkness, and a voice, tired but strong, whispered, "Status." "Report," the AI answered. "Welcome back, Commander. The Valari have detected us. Mission Phase 2 begins." The human stood, slowly, armor clicking into place. "Good," he said. "Then it's time they remember." The black shape moved slowly through space, a shadow drifting across the stars. It had no blinking lights, no signal beacons, and no escort. Just silence. But it wasn't dead. Inside the Valari main observation tower, panic was growing. "It's not stopping," said Officer Kale, eyes wide as she stared at the screen. Commander Threx walked to the window and looked out. He could see it now with the naked eye. A giant dark wedge, cutting through space like a silent blade. "The warship has changed direction," said Ron. "It's heading toward our outer colonies now, slowly but directly." Threx took a deep breath. "Zoom in." The image sharpened. The surface of the warship looked like burnt metal. Scars from old battles covered its hull, but parts of it still gleamed. Even after 300 years, it looked ready to fight. "Ship confirmed. Human war-class dreadnought. Name, Vindicator," Ron said. "We double-checked the archives. This ship was marked as destroyed during the last human-Valari war. Final battle. Sector 9. Kale shook her head. "Then how is it still here?" Threx turned toward them, his voice low. "Either the records were wrong, or someone has brought it back." There was silence in the room. Then Kale spoke quietly. "Sir, what if it never left?" The commander looked at her. "What if," she continued, "it's been waiting all this time? Hiding, watching, sleeping." Ron added, "And now it's awake." A long pause followed. Then the room lights flickered again, just for a moment. Kale stiffened. "That's the third time today. We're too far from any gravity fields for power flickers," Ron said. "Something is interfering." Threx gave the order. "Send a stealth drone. No signals, just visuals. Get close enough to see inside." The drone launched from the station and sped through space like a silent bug. It flew straight toward the Vindicator. As it approached, the ship's size became clear. It wasn't just big, it was massive. More like a floating city than a warship. Its body was shaped like a spearhead, with long armored sides. Hundreds of weapons were built into its hull, missile pods, plasma turrets, and rail cannons that hadn't been seen in over 3 centuries. The drone reached the ship. Lights on the surface were dark. There was no sign of life. "Going in," said Ron. The drone slipped through a narrow opening near the bottom of the ship. It passed dark halls, massive empty chambers, and long tunnels filled with shadows. Then it saw something on one of the drone screens. A figure appeared. A man stood still in the corridor, wearing heavy black armor. His face was hidden under a metal helmet with a red glow in the center. He turned and stared directly into the drone's camera. "He sees us," whispered Kale. Then, with one smooth motion, the figure raised a hand. The screen turned to static. "Drone destroyed," said Ron. Kale backed away from her console. "That was a human." "That was impossible," Threx muttered. "No," said Ron. "That was real. I saw it, and he looked like a soldier." They stood there, frozen in place. Threx moved to the front of the room. "We can't hide this anymore. Send the footage to the High Council. And prepare a warning for the colonies. Tell them. A human warship has entered our space, and it's alive." On the Valari homeworld, the High Council gathered in secret chambers. Long cloaks, long faces, long discussions. Some were afraid. Some were angry. Why is it here now after all these years? One asked, "Revenge," another said. "We destroyed Earth. We broke their armies, but we never found their final ship. Maybe it was never meant to be found. Maybe it was programmed to awaken if we grew too strong again. But the humans are extinct." Then what was that figure we saw? No one had answers. Only more questions. In the end, the council gave a careful command: do not attack. Do not speak to it. Watch only. Prepare for war. Inside the Vindicator, the lights began to glow brighter. Commander Rel stood tall in the control chamber, staring at the holographic map of Valari space. "Status?" he asked. The AI answered in a calm voice. "Weapons online. Shields at 83%. Cryo-soldiers stable. Countdown to mission phase, 19 days, 12 hours. Rel looked down at the floor, remembering old faces, old battles. The war had cost them everything. Earth was gone. Billions dead. And the Valari had claimed victory, but they had not won. Vindicator was their last hope, their final blade. Hidden by cloaking systems and protected by AI, it had waited deep in the dead zone, silently counting the years. "Enemy activity?" Rel asked. "Valari have detected us," the AI replied. "One drone destroyed, signal jamming in place. They are afraid." Rel nodded. "Good, let them fear. They forgot what we are. It's time to remind them." He walked slowly to a locked panel and placed his hand on the scanner. The metal hissed and opened. Inside, 12 cryopods stood silently, glowing blue. 12, he whispered. "That's all we have left." He pressed a button. One by one, the pods began to thaw. Bodies inside shifted. Soldiers from the last war, the strongest. The last survivors. They were waking up. Back at the Valari station, Ron was pacing. "I don't like this," he said. "We can't just watch. That ship could wipe us out in seconds." Kale looked up from her console. "We don't know what it wants. Does it matter?" Ron snapped. "You saw that man. He looked at us like we were insects." Kale stayed quiet. Then she asked, "If it wanted to attack, why hasn't it done it already?" Ron paused. "Maybe it's waiting for something." Suddenly, a new alert rang out. "Sir," another officer shouted. "The ship just changed course. It's now heading for Colony 4. Threx turned sharply. "That colony holds 2 million lives," Kale gasped. "We have to do something." "No," Threx said. "We need to know why. We need to understand." The signal from the Vindicator flashed again, a single message. "We are not your enemy, but we are not your prey either. Stay out of our path." Threx read it aloud, and then he whispered, "They're giving us a choice." Run's face was pale. "And if we choose wrong?" Threx looked out the window at the dark ship moving through the stars. It was silent, deadly, ancient, and it was watching. In the darkness of space, the Vindicator moved like a silent storm. No engines roared, no signals flashed. Yet the ship came closer with every hour. Colony 4, a peaceful Velari world, now stood directly in its path. Inside the Velari command station, alarms buzzed softly. Officer Reen stared at the screen, his hands trembling. "They're coming straight for the colony," he said. "No change in speed, no response to our hails." Commander Threx leaned forward, eyes locked on the approaching ship. "Have we tried broadcasting in ancient human code?" "We tried everything," Run said. "They're ignoring us." Kale stood in the corner, listening. She looked tense, but her voice was calm. "Maybe it's not an attack," Run turned sharply. "It's a warship, Kale, not a passenger shuttle." "They've had days to destroy us," she said. "But they haven't." "Maybe they're waiting for something," Ron said, "or someone." Just then, the speakers crackled to life. Static hissed for a moment. Then a deep, broken voice came through. "This is Commander Rel of the United Terran Alliance. To any Velari station receiving. We are not here to talk." The room froze. The voice was human, alive, real. "Playback recording?" Threx asked quickly. Run shook his head. "No, sir. This is live. It's coming straight from the Vindicator." More static followed. Then the voice continued. "We survived your fire. We survived the cold. You thought we were dead. You were wrong." The signal ended. Kale whispered, "They're not dead." On the colony, panic had begun to spread. Civilians gathered in the streets, staring up at the dark shapes slowly growing in the sky. It looked like a shadow blotting out the stars. The Velari guards tried to calm the people. "No firing. No movement. Stay in shelters." Inside the colonies, Control Tower, Governor Velas watched the screens with a tight jaw. "What are options?" "None," replied his security chief. "We fire, we die. We run, we die slower." "Is there a chance this is a bluff?" The chief looked at him. "Do you bluff with a warship that size?" Governor Velas sighed. "So we wait." Inside the Vindicator, the ancient halls were alive. With quiet sounds, the soft hum of energy, the hiss of thawing cryochambers. One by one, the human soldiers were waking. Commander Rel stood over a pod, watching as a soldier inside opened his eyes. Frost clung to the edges of the glass. "Rise, Captain Vale," Rel said. "We've reached enemy space." Vale stepped out slowly, his voice hoarse. "How long has it been?" 312 years. Vale blinked. "Did we win?" "No," Rel said. "But we didn't lose either." Other pods opened. Men and women stepped out, coughing, shivering. Each one had been part of the last battle, the final stand against the Velari. They were the best, the deadliest. And now, the last. A soldier named Rana looked around. "Earth?" "Gone," said Rell. Another. Sergeant Holt growled. "So why are we here?" Rel stared at the glowing map of Velari space. "Because the war isn't over." "But they think it is," Holt said. "They did," Rel replied. "Not anymore." Back at the Velari station, new data came in. "Commander," Run called. "Long-range scan has picked up strange energy inside the human ship." Threx walked over. "Explain." "It's not engine power, it's biological. Life signs." Kale leaned in. "How many?" 13, Run said. "All human," Kale gasped. "So it's not just Commander Rel. He brought others." Threx stared at the screen. 13 against the whole Velari Empire? Run looked uneasy. "They don't seem worried." In the Vindicator's war room, the soldiers sat in silence while Commander Rel stood before them. This ship has waited for this moment, he said. Hidden for centuries, watching, preparing. Holt leaned forward. And now we strike? No, Rel said. We send a message. Vale looked confused. We already did. Not enough, Rel said. They need to see what we can do. But we give them a choice first. We remind them of their crimes, of what they did to our people. Then we let them decide. And if they choose wrong? Holt asked. Rel's voice turned cold. Then we finish what they started. The room went quiet. Then the AI spoke. Incoming message from Colony 4. Visual only. Show it, Rel ordered. The screen lit up. Governor Velas appeared, nervous but trying to stay calm. I don't know if you can hear me. This is Governor Velas of Velari Colony 4. We received your signal. We are not your enemy. The war is long over. Please, let's talk. Rel stood silently. Then he spoke slowly. There was no peace, only silence. You burned Earth and left us to rot. Now you beg for mercy? Velas replied. That war was not my doing. I was not alive then. Neither were most of my people. Neither were ours. Rel said. And yet here we are. The screen went dark. In the skies above Colony 4. The Vindicator paused. It didn't fire. It didn't move. It simply waited. Inside the ship, Rel stared at the command panel. His soldiers waited behind him. Ready, prepare orbital scan, he said. Target? Asked the SI. Rel's eyes narrowed. Military zone. Their missile base. Coordinates locked. Stand by, Rel said. We'll give them one final chance. The Velari High Council received the update in full panic. They've reached the colony. And they're scanning targets. Why haven't they attacked? Yet? Because they're warning us, said Threx. And that might be worse. Do we fire? No, Threx said. We listen. Kale added, we should consider speaking to them. If they're human, then maybe. They can still be reasoned with. The council went quiet. Then the prime speaker gave the order, open the diplomatic channel. Offer peace. If they refuse, prepare to evacuate the colony. Back on the Vindicator, a new signal appeared. This is the Velari High Council. We offer no resistance. We request peace. Rel looked at the screen for a long moment. Then he turned to his crew. They think we're coming to destroy them, he said. Are we? Vale asked. Rel didn't answer right away. Then he said, no, not yet. He walked to the command panel. AI, he said. Fire plasma strike on Velari missile base. No casualties. Target locked. Fire. A beam of blue light shot down from the ship. It hit the ground near the colony, melting a massive section of the military base into glass. No one died. But the message was clear. Target destroyed, the AI said. Rel sent one last transmission. We are not here to talk. We are here to remind you, Earth is gone, but humans are not. Cross the line again, and next time we won't miss. Then he gave the order. Reverse course, disappear. The Vindicator turned slowly and began to drift away, vanishing back into the dark dot in its wake. The stars were silent. The Velari was shaken. And across the galaxy, one truth spread like fire. The humans are back. And they're not dead. The stars shimmered quietly above Velari space, but the air inside the command station felt heavy. Everyone was watching the same thing, a small, fast-moving fleet heading straight toward the human warship. Commander Threx stood behind the control table, his hands behind his back. Status of our contact fleet? He asked. They've crossed into Vindicator's outer range, said Ron. 5 ships, no weapons charged. Communication channels open. Threx nodded. Good. Keep it peaceful. We do not provoke them. Kale watched the screen, her voice tense. Do you really think they'll respond this time? We have to try, Threx said. The war ended in silence. This might be our only chance to understand them. before everything burns again. The Valari contact ships approached. Slowly. Their lights flashed in friendly patterns. A transmission was sent, simple words in ancient human language. "This is Captain Doran of the Valari Exploratory Fleet. We request peaceful contact. We wish to speak." There was no answer. 10 seconds. Past .20, .30, then. The screen went dark for one heartbeat, then filled with static. Suddenly, the voice of a man broke through. It was cold, calm, and unmistakably human. "You have approached the warship Vindicator. We have not forgotten. We have not forgiven. State your purpose." The Valari bridge fell silent. Kale whispered, "That's them. That's really them." Threx leaned forward. "Send reply." Captain Doran's voice crackled through space again. "We know the past is filled with pain. But we offer no harm. We only seek to understand. The war is long over." There was silence again. Then the Vindicator responded, "You ended the war by destroying our world. You never spoke to us again. You built over the graves of our people. Now you want to talk?" Captain Doran tried once more. "The galaxy has changed. We changed. Maybe you have too." Another pause. Then came the image. The Vindicator sent a live video feed. On every screen across the Valari fleet and command station, a human appeared, tall, armored in black, with a red glowing visor. He stood in a long metal hallway, still as a statue, and then he looked directly into the camera. "You shouldn't have come," he said. And the screen went black. Inside the Vindicator, Commander Rel stood with his arms crossed. "They're testing us," he said, "seeing how close they can get." His AI responded, "They approach with shields down, a sign of peace." "They're not stupid," said Vale, standing nearby. "They're trying to buy time. Maybe they're calling reinforcements." Rel nodded. "But they're afraid." I could hear it in their voice. Rana stepped forward. "Do we fire?" "Not yet," Rel said. "Let them sweat. Let them wonder." Back in the Valari contact fleet, panic was rising. "They've cut the signal," said one officer. "Their weapons are powering up." Captain Doran spoke quickly. "Maintain position. Do not raise shields. If we do, it'll be war. But sir, hold the line." Inside the Valari command station, Threx made a decision. "Recall the fleet," he ordered. "Now." Run blinked. "But do it," Threx said. "We are too close to waking something ancient, something we don't understand." Kale whispered, "We already woke it." At that moment, all 5 Valari ships began to turn away slowly. Just as the last one rotated, a deep alarm screamed through the command station. "Vindicator weapons locked," Run shouted. "They've targeted Ship 4. Evasive maneuvers." Threx yelled, but it was too late. In a flash of white-blue light, a bolt of energy ripped across space. Ship 4 was gone in a second, nothing left but dust and silence. The other 4 ships escaped. No message followed. The humans didn't explain. They didn't threaten. They just fired once, then vanished. Hours later, the Valari High Council gathered in full emergency session. "Why did they attack?" One counselor asked. "They warned us," said Threx. "That fleet crossed into their territory. They said, you shouldn't have come. They only destroyed one ship." "A warning shot," Kale said softly. "They want to talk on their terms, not ours." One old counselor stood. His voice shook. "The humans don't want war, but they're not afraid of it either." "So what do we do?" someone asked. Threx answered, "We wait. We watch, and we stop pretending we know everything about them." He looked around the table. "The humans are alive. They are strong. And they are angry." On a hidden Valari station near the border, a small team of scientists worked in silence. They had been secretly studying old human tech, long banned by Valari law. When news of the Vindicator's return came, The lead scientist, Dr. Selin, stood in silence for a long time. Then he turned to his team. "Prepare the archive," he said. "What for?" "To send it back. You want to give human tech to humans?" Dr. Selin nodded. "It belonged to them. Maybe it's time they had it back. But why?" He looked toward the stars. "Because if we want peace, we need to stop acting like gods." Deep in the cold of space, the Vindicator floated once again in silence. Inside, Rel stood at the center of the war room, watching the galaxy map. 12 red markers showed the locations of old Velari military centers. Vale approached. "They're afraid of us now," Rel nodded. "Good. What's our next move?" Rel said nothing for a long time. Then he whispered, "We don't strike first. We wait." "For what?" "For them to make a mistake." He looked up at the stars. "And they will." The Velari skies had turned quiet after the destruction of Ship 4. The wreckage had vanished, but the memory remained. Across every colony, every fleet, and every outpost, one name echoed in fear: Vindicator. Inside the Velari war chamber, the mood was tense. Holograms of the human ship hovered over the table, rotating slowly. Senior generals, advisors, and scientists watched in silence. Commander Threx stepped forward. "This is not a mystery anymore. The humans are alive. Their technology is still beyond ours, and they just proved they can destroy us at will." A high-ranking general crossed his arms. "It was just one shot." Threx turned sharply. "That one shot erased a battleship without warning. That was the warning." Kale leaned over the table. "We don't even know the ship's full power. It's possible they were holding back." The room fell silent. The prime speaker finally spoke. "Then we must respond. Mobilize the fleets. Defend the colonies." "Against what?" Threx asked. "A ghost ship with soldiers that survived 300 years? If we go to war now, we lose." "We can't appear weak," said the general. "No," Kale said quietly. "But we also can't pretend this is a normal enemy." High above, in orbit over the Velari capital, a new fleet gathered. 60 ships. Fast, modern, heavily armed. At its center was the Valkor, the pride of Velari Naval Command, a carrier the size of a city. The fleet's mission: stop the Vindicator before it reached another colony. In the fleet command center, Admiral Yek stood tall, armor shining. He was known for being cold and fearless. "Today," he said, "we remind the galaxy who rules this space. If the humans want war, they will find only death." Cheers rose through the deck. Admiral Yek gave the order: "Begin the hunt." Light years away, deep in the black of space, the Vindicator drifted through silence. It didn't run. It didn't hide. Inside, Commander Rel sat in the war room, watching the enemy fleet gather on his map. Red dots multiplied every second. "They're coming," said Vale. Rana checked her weapon. "Let them." Rel stood. "How many ships?" The eye answered calmly. "Fleet count, 60. Carrier class confirmed. Estimated time to contact, 6 hours. Strength?" Rel asked. "High," the AI said. "But not enough." Rel looked over his crew. 12 tired, deadly warriors from a lost world. Ready battle stations. They want war? We'll give them a memory they can't erase. The Velari fleet arrived fast. Their ships spread in formation, surrounding the Vindicator from every angle. Admiral Yek opened the channel. "Human vessel, this is your final chance. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded." There was no answer. Yek narrowed his eyes. "You fired first. You crossed the line. Now you pay." Still no reply. Yek raised his arm. "Lock targets." Just as his fleet locked on, the Vindicator finally responded. A single voice echoed across. "Every ship, we warned you." Then everything happened at once. A bright flash tore through space. The Vindicator's side panels opened, revealing weapons hidden deep inside its frame. Rail cannons, plasma lances, and a weapon unknown to Valari science. In seconds, 3 Valari ships were gone. Not damaged, gone, vaporized. Explosions lit the black like a storm. Evasive, scatter now. Yek shouted, but it was too late for 5 more ships. Rel stood calmly at his command table. Fire again, another wave launched. Valari shields collapsed. The carrier Valkor shook violently as its lower decks exploded. Inside the chaos, a message came through to Yek's ship. This is not an invasion. This is your reminder. The war you buried isn't over. Yek shouted into the comms, send drones, get inside that ship. Find their weakness. Hundreds of drones launched toward the Vindicator, but as they reached the outer layer, they stopped, frozen in place. What's happening? One officer asked. The Vindicator's AI had activated an electromagnetic barrier. Every drone was caught, systems dead. Then a new message came. Do not test us again. Yek's face turned pale. We're retreating, he said, voice low. But, sir, I said retreat. The order was given. The remaining ships turned and ran. Half their fleet was gone in under 3 minutes. The Vindicator didn't chase. Back in Valari command, Threx received the report in silence. 29 ships destroyed, Run said. No casualties reported on the Vindicator, 0 damage. Kale whispered, they didn't even try. Threx nodded slowly. That wasn't a battle. That was a message. In the human ship, Rel looked over the star map. They ran, Vale said. They lived, Rel replied. Rana frowned. Shouldn't we have finished them? No, Rel said. They'll carry our warning for us. He looked toward the window, stars shining quietly. I don't want to burn the galaxy, he said. But I won't let it forget. The news spread fast. Across the galaxy, systems paused. Minor powers stopped expansion plans. Valari governors closed ports. Merchants rerouted travel paths, and in the shadows, a quiet fear grew. If the humans were alive. If the Vindicator still moved. What else had they hidden? The Vindicator moved quietly through deep space. No sound, no signal, no light. Just the slow hum of systems older than memory. From the outside, it looked like a relic. But inside, it was very much alive. The control room glowed in soft red. Light, cold steel walls surrounded a central table where 12 soldiers stood. Their armor was black, marked with faded symbols of the old Earth Alliance. Faces were sharp, eyes steady. These were not ordinary humans. Commander Rel looked over the star map in front of them. His voice was calm but heavy. They think we are ghosts. They think this ship is a threat. But they don't understand why we're here. Rana crossed her arms. They'll never understand. Not until they face what they did. Vale, the youngest of the group, stepped forward. 300 years, we slept, we waited. Now we're awake, and nothing feels real. Rel looked at him. It's real, Vale. The war may have ended long ago for them, but not for us. Silence filled the room. The hum of the ship's heart, the I core, pulsed beneath their feet like a heartbeat. Deep in the lower decks, thousands of lights blinked on walls lined with machines. The ship's AI, named Core, ran every system with perfect control. No errors, no delays. It remembered everything. A voice echoed in the darkness. Report status. Core answered. Weapon systems at 98%. Hull damage, 0. Energy levels, stable. Crew readiness. All 12 soldiers active. Mental stability, holding. Emotional levels, fluctuating. Rel walked into the chamber, where the IS core sat like a giant black crystal, humming. Softly, you kept us alive, he said. I followed the protocol, Core replied. Wake the crew if the Valari return to power. Rel placed a hand on the metal wall, and they did. Yes, Core said. Their influence now reaches 10 new systems. Same pattern as before. Then we do what we were made to do. Core. Paused. Commander. Humanity no longer exists outside this ship, Rel nodded. I know. The mess hall was silent. Soldiers sat with metal trays, barely touching their food. Vale looked across the table. Do you think Earth still exists? No one answered. Rana finally spoke. The records say Earth fell during the last days of the war. The Valari bombed. It from orbit, burned the surface. But what if it survived? Vale asked, what if others are out there? Rel entered the room, his voice strong. Hope is good. But don't let it distract you. Our mission hasn't changed. What? If the mission is broken? Vale asked. What if we are the only ones left? Rel looked at him. Then we finish it alone. Later, in the training chamber, soldiers moved through drills. Fast, sharp, perfect. Again, Rana shouted. Faster, the Valari won't wait for you to blink. Sweat rolled down Vale's face as he struck the training dummy again. He paused to catch his breath. They're afraid of us, he said. Even now, after all these years. They should be, Rana replied. They created us, and they know what we can do. In the medbay, Yalan, the team's medic, ran scans on a stasis pod. Inside was a 13th soldier, still asleep. He called Rel over. She hasn't woken up. Rel looked through the glass at the pale face of a woman. Her name was Lyra. She had been wounded during the final battle before stasis. She was always the strongest of us. Rel whispered. Is she stable? Yalan shook his head. Barely. The system's keeping her alive. But not for long. Rel stared at her for a long time. Prepare for emergency awakening. If we fall, she takes command. She won't survive that. Rel nodded. Then we better make sure we don't fall. Night cycle came. The lights dimmed, and the crew tried to rest. But sleep was rare on the Vindicator. Rel sat alone in the observation deck. The stars stretched forever outside the thick glass. He remembered the cities of Earth, the blue oceans, the smell of trees. Things lost to time. Vale walked in quietly. You're not sleeping either? He asked. Rel shook his head. Haven't. In weeks. Vale sat beside him. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we lost? I mean, really lost. We did lose, Rel said. Humanity lost everything. But we were hidden, frozen like weapons. Not to rebuild, just to strike back. Do you believe that's right? Rel was silent for a moment. Then he said, I believe we were made to make them remember. Suddenly, Kor's voice echoed across the ship. Warning. Enemy signal. Detected. Proximity. Close. Multiple ships approaching. No direct attack. Likely scouts. The crew rushed to stations. Kale read the data on his screen. They're not moving fast, just watching us, Rana hissed. Trying to figure us out. Rel gave the order. Let them see us. Let them send their reports. The more they watch, the more they'll fear. Vale looked uneasy. What if they try to talk again? Rel's voice was sharp. Then they're fools. We warned them once. They got their warning. In a secret part of the ship, one wall held a sealed door. None of the soldiers went near it. Behind that door was something only Kor and Rel knew about. Late that night, Rel entered the chamber alone. Inside was a room filled with frozen data cores. Weapons never used, maps of places the Valari never dared to go. At the center sat a black cube, humming softly. It held the final command of Earth's last general. Kor spoke. Do you wish to hear it again? Rel nodded. The cube glowed, and a voice filled the room, old, firm, and proud. If this message plays, then you have awakened. You are our last hand. You do not exist to rebuild. You exist to remind. They will forget what we are. You will teach them again. Rel closed his eyes. I remember, he whispered. Far away. The Valari Command Center received the scout reports. They're watching us, said Run. Not attacking, Not hiding, Threx frowned. They want us to see them. They want us to fear them. Kale looked at the screen. And it's working. A long silence fell. Threx finally said, "We made them. We buried them. Now, we must live with what comes next." Back on the Vindicator, the crew stood at attention. Rel looked at each face. Tired, angry, loyal. "We were built for war," he said. "But that doesn't mean we are monsters." He walked slowly across the room. "We show mercy, we give warnings, but we do not forget. And we do not forgive." He turned to face the stars. "This is not just a ship. This is history, alive. And if they want to test us again..." He placed his hand on the control panel. "Then we will finish what they started." The dark void of space was alive with tension. The Valari fleet, a massive armada of nearly 100 ships, hovered like a storm ready to break. Their weapons were charged, shields at full strength, and every crew member knew the weight of the moment. Admiral Yek's voice came through the command bridge, steady but cold. "Today, we end this threat once and for all. The Vindicator will fall, and peace will return to Valari space." On the bridge of the Vindicator, Commander Rel stood silent. His soldiers prepared, their faces grim but determined. The hum of the ship's core filled the room. Vale tightened his grip on his rifle. "They're serious this time," Rel nodded. "So are we." The fleets moved closer. At 10,000 kilometers, the first Valari ships opened fire-blue beams, cutting through space like lightning. The Vindicator's shields flared brightly, absorbing the attacks. Rel's voice broke the tense silence. "Return fire. Target the lead ships." Explosions blossomed across the Valari fleet. One carrier took a direct hit, its hull cracking open. The Valari responded with missiles, but the Vindicator's countermeasures made short work of them. On the Valari command ship, chaos spread. Alarms blared, crews scrambled. Admiral Yek clenched his jaw. "Keep pressure. Focus on their weapon systems." Inside the Vindicator, Rana shouted orders. "Evasive maneuvers. Prepare plasma lances." Suddenly, the ship jolted. A missile had hit near the engineering bay. Sparks flew. Damage report. Rel demanded. "Minor hull breach." "Systems stable," the AI responded. Rel's eyes hardened. "We can't let them break us now." The battle raged on for hours. Ships exploded, debris scattered. The Vindicator moved with deadly precision, dodging and striking with cold efficiency. Then, a sudden burst of static. A Valari ship sent a message over open channels. "This is Captain Doran. We do not want more death. Let us talk. We can end this." Rel looked at the screen. "Do you trust them?" Vale shook his head. "After what they did, no." Rel hesitated. "Send a message." His voice was calm but firm. "We are not your enemies yet. But if you fire again, there will be no peace." The Valari fleet paused. For a moment, silence. Then the fighting resumed more furious than before. In the final moments, the Vindicator's hidden weapon activated. A wave of energy swept through space, disabling enemy ship systems without destroying them. One by one, the Valari ships lost power, drifting helpless. Admiral Yek's voice came weakly over the comms. "You win this battle. But the war is not over." Rel looked out at the stunned Valari fleet. "No," he said. "It is just beginning." The vastness of space seemed to hold its breath. The Valari fleet, battered and powerless, drifted in the cold silence after the battle. The Vindicator stood alone, its black hull gleaming like a dark star. Commander Rel gazed out at the wreckage and the scattered ships, his face unreadable. "We broke their fleet," Vale said softly. "But at what cost?" Rel did not answer. His mind was heavy with a deeper question. What came next? A sudden alert flashed across the command console. A new signal. Not from the Valari. Something else. Something unknown. Commander, Rana. Saw it, her voice tense. There's a ship approaching fast. Not Valari, Rel frowned. Identify it. The AI responded. Unknown vessel, no data match. Approaching, weapons ready. Admiral Yek's old warning echoed in Rel's mind. The war is not over. Rel activated the comms. Unknown ship, identify yourself. Silence. Then a voice, cold and clear. This is the Galactic Coalition. Stand down or face annihilation. Rel's jaw tightened. The Coalition, a powerful alliance beyond Valari and humans. A force no one wanted to face. Tell them, Rel said quietly, we do not seek war, but we will not run. The Coalition's ships opened fire, a deadly barrage. Unlike anything the Vindicator had seen. Shields flared, alarms screamed, evasive maneuvers. Rel commanded. The Vindicator dodged, but the attacks grew relentless. Systems faltered, weapons flickered, Vale gritted his teeth. They want to end this now. Rana's voice was sharp. We can't win this fight. Rel's eyes burned with resolve. Then we make them remember why they feared us. The ship's secret weapons powered up, ancient technology designed for total destruction. The eye warned of overload risks. Do it, Rel ordered. If this ends now, we choose how. A pulse of pure energy erupted from the Vindicator, washing over the battlefield. The Coalition ships shuddered, systems failing one by one. But the blast came with a price. The Vindicator shook violently. Internal systems sparked and failed. Rel collapsed into his chair. Status: critical damage, the AI said. Integrity falling. Life support unstable. Vale knelt beside him. We survived worse. Rel nodded weakly. But maybe we can survive peace too. Back in the Valari command center, Threx watched the battle unfold with growing dread. Is this the end? Kale asked softly. No, Threx replied. It's the beginning of something new. He activated the comms. Commander Rel, we propose a ceasefire. Rel's voice came over the channel, weary but strong. Agreed, but only if both sides listen. The warship drifted in the vast black, battered but alive. The galaxy held its breath. The war had nearly ended everything, but maybe, just maybe, it could bring something else. A chance for peace, for understanding, for a future that no one dared to imagine.